He tailgated me for 7 miles. Flashed his brights. Swerved like a lunatic. I pulled into a gas station to get away. He followed. Got out, yelling about how I cut him off. He didn't know who I was. He didn't know what I'd done, what I'd survived, or what I had in the back seat. I didn't throw a punch. But after what I said, that man never road raged again. They called him Brick in the service. Short for Bricker. Real name Eli Bricker, former Marine Force Recon. 6 combat tours, 2 Purple Hearts, 1 ruined marriage, and a daughter he barely saw anymore. Now, at 44, he just wanted peace. Peace in the form of a quiet road trip from Fort Worth to Charlotte to see his mother, who didn't have much time left. Eli didn't start fights. Not anymore. He drove a beat-up black SUV with a busted headlight and a German Shepherd named Tank sleeping in the back seat. He obeyed the rules. Took exits slow. Signaled early. But somewhere outside Jackson, Mississippi, peace got rear-ended by rage. A lifted red Dodge Ram came out of nowhere. Tailgating. Honking. Flashing brights. The guy wanted him to move faster, but Eli was already 5 over. Eli didn't flinch. He just tapped his brakes once. A message. The Ram driver lost it. Swerved around, flipped him off, and veered so close their mirrors almost kissed. Then he cut back in front, brake-checked him hard. Tank jolted awake, growling low. Eli pulled into a gas station. Not to run. Not to hide. He just needed to cool down. Get some water. Let the fool go. But the Ram followed. That's when Eli knew this wasn't about traffic. The driver was young, mid-20s. Cocky. Beer belly in gym clothes. He jumped out of his truck before Eli could even open his door. Yelling about how old men shouldn't be on the road, how Eli cut him off, how he could have wrecked. Eli didn't say a word. Just stared at the man. Calm. Still. Hands visible. Tank behind the glass, growling louder now. The guy shoved Eli's shoulder. That was a mistake. Eli didn't swing. He didn't yell. He simply stepped forward, slow, like a machine coming online, and said one thing. I've buried better men than you in 3 countries you can't spell. Now walk away while you still can. The kid froze. Smirked, tried to laugh it off. But his eyes, they twitched. He felt it. Something off. Something dangerous. Then Tank barked. Not a normal bark. A warning. Deep, commanding. Eli leaned in closer, just enough for the man to hear. I'm not the guy you want to test today. I've spent the last 12 years trying not to be who I used to be. The kid backed up, mumbled something, got in his truck and peeled out, tires screeching like fear. Eli didn't move for a long moment, just listened to his heart slow down. Then he got his water, got back in, drove on. 2 days later, deep into Georgia, Eli was nearly home. Dusk falling. He stopped at a diner just outside Macon, ordered coffee, sat by the window with Tank lying under the table. That's when he saw the black Camaro. Young man. Different face. Same rage. Eli had seen him earlier on the freeway, swerving, throwing trash at cars, filming himself laughing. The Camaro pulled into the lot. Inside, he strutted like he owned the place. Loud. Obnoxious. Making a waitress visibly uncomfortable. Eli watched. Waited. Hoped someone else would say something. Then the guy bumped into a busboy, hard, knocking a tray. Hot coffee spilled on his own arm. He snapped, grabbed the kid by the collar. And Eli stood up. No shouting. No speech. He just walked over, looked the man in the eye, and said, "Let him go. You've had your fun." The man turned, ready to swing. But stopped. Tank was beside Eli now. Silent. Staring. Eli added, voice calm and low. Your car has a dashcam. You posted your plates to TikTok. If you touch him, that's assault. If you try me, I'll call the sheriff who served with me. He'll arrive in 7 minutes. You'll leave in handcuffs, on camera, viral by morning. The man dropped the busboy. Left without paying. The diner clapped softly. Eli just sat back down. Sipped his coffee. When Eli finally made it to Charlotte, his mother was sleeping peacefully. He stayed the night, helped clean her porch, sat with her in the morning sunlight, then drove home. Somewhere near Asheville, in the rain, a sedan spun out in front of him, hydroplaned hard. Eli swerved, missed it by inches. The driver, shaken, pulled over. Young woman. Crying. Eli helped her out of the car, covered her with his coat, called a tow. She looked up at him and said, "Everyone's been so angry on the road lately, like it's war." Eli didn't say much. But as he stood there in the rain, he realized something. He wasn't mad at the road ragers. They were scared. Everyone was angry because nobody felt safe anymore. Nobody trusted anybody. They wanted control. And when they didn't get it, they lashed out. But some people, the wrong people, still walked this earth ready for a different kind of storm. People like Eli. It had been 4 weeks since Eli Bricker returned from Charlotte. His mother passed 2 days after he left, peacefully. No pain. Just a final breath under soft light, with an old radio playing a gospel station she loved. He didn't cry. Not at the funeral. Not when he folded her blanket for the last time. Not even when he found the photo of his younger self, uniform pressed, arms around Marissa and a newborn Lily, tucked in the back of her Bible. Eli had buried emotion so deep he wasn't sure how to reach it anymore. But it started to crack in the most unexpected place, the DMV. He was renewing his license. Long wait. Loud room. Tank had to stay in the truck. And that's when the door burst open. 2 men stormed in, early 30s, neck tattoos, one wearing a cut-off shirt with brass knuckles printed on it. Their car had been cut off outside, and they were convinced someone inside flipped them off. They were loud, angry, threatening. Employees froze. An older man near the counter actually dropped his paperwork and backed away. Eli was sitting in the corner, sipping a vending machine coffee. He didn't stand up. Not yet. The louder one paced. Swearing. Looking for a fight. He started barking at a kid, 17 maybe, who looked like he'd never thrown a punch in his life. "You think you're funny, little punk? You want to go outside and act hard now?" Eli watched. Waited. Tank started to growl from the cracked window outside. Then the man raised a finger to the boy's chest. Eli stood. The room turned quiet in a way only real fear can force. Eli walked across the DMV like he was still on a battlefield. Calm. Heavy. Slow. He stopped a foot away from the man. "That boy's not your problem. I am." The man looked him up and down. Scoffed. "Old man, you better." Eli didn't flinch. He leaned in. Whispered. "You're about to choose between walking out or swallowing teeth. But either way, you're going to remember my face every time you rage behind a wheel again." The man blinked. Hesitated. Eli took a step closer. Tank barked from outside, sharp and violent. That was it. The man turned, mumbled something about crazy vets, and stormed out with his buddy. The boy looked at Eli, pale, shaking. Eli just nodded. "Don't let men like that turn you bitter. Let 'em pass like wind." That night, Eli drove home through the hills. No headlights behind him. No tailgaters. No tension. He pulled over at a scenic turnout. Sat on the hood of his SUV. Tank rested beside him, head on his boot. Eli looked out at the quiet valley, the moonlight casting silver across the treetops. And for the first time in years, he let himself feel. Not rage. Not duty. Just release. The road didn't own him anymore. The ghosts of war. Of divorce. Of being seen as invisible. Because now, someone always looked back when he stood up. The quiet man in the corner had become legend. The one road ragers would never forget.